been a really long day, and this is the time. It's currently 11:44, and I just got to the school to practice. I have a big test tomorrow. So we take percussion lessons at school for this semester, and then we have a test at the end, and Dr. Vartan just quizzes us on you know, anything from the whole semester. So I'm kind of reviewing everything I've done tonight, and yeah, I'm really excited. I'm not feeling too nervous about tomorrow, but I always like being prepared and over prepared, and I'm a perfectionist, so had to make sure and come practice all night, even though I had a really long concert tonight, which was really fun. We had a Christmas concert combined with the choir, orchestra, band, and I was in almost every piece, so that was really fun. I have not done my Light the World challenge yet for today, but I will do it. I might have to do it tomorrow after my test. I'm sorry. So this is how I practice the timpani. I got all my drums set up here. I've got a couple of mallets and some sticky notes and a pitch pipe so I can get the right notes. Then I've got my music over here. So tonight I am working on Chaik 4, which is, in my opinion, the hardest timpani excerpt I've had to play. Here I've got the iPad playing my music through, connected to the headphones so that I can hear what the orchestra is playing. It's time for bed. Hey everybody, it's the next day. I'm in the same clothes, don't judge me. I am so excited for today's Light the World challenge for day 2, which is Jesus honored his parents and so can you. What I've decided to do today is I'm gonna call my dad, and I want to learn more about my grandpa. I lived with my grandpa when I was a little girl, and we lived next to him while I was growing up, but my grandpa's family is very colorful and interesting. They're from Tennessee. So let's call my dad and see if we can hear a new story about my Grandpa Brown. So I think today my dad is going to tell the story. This is my dad right here, about his dad and mom, how they met. This is my Grandpa Brown. So these are both pictures of my grandpa. This is him as a young boy. He looks a lot like my brother in this picture. And this is my grandpa closely before he died. He died of cancer. But I love learning about his family.
Hello to the vlog camera.
So for today's Light the World challenge, I wanted to learn more about our family history.
Okay.
So what can you tell me about your side of the family, the Browns?
Well, the Browns are hillbillies, and I say that with all due respect and love. They lived in Signal Mountain, Tennessee. My dad was one of 16 children, lived on Signal Mountain during the Depression, and had a family with 16 kids and a small 2-room house that didn't have plumbing or even full electricity until well after World War II. So they lived in pretty meager circumstances. My dad was only able to get about a 7th grade education, and then he had to go to work and help support his family. My dad, along with many of the youth his age during the Great Depression, joined what's known as the Civil Conservation Corps, or the CCCs, a big road building and public lands and public works building project during the Great Depression that FDR put in place to try to get America back to work during the Great Depression. And my dad worked on roads, and he helped build many of the roads around Crater Lake, Oregon. So he left Tennessee and went to Crater Lake area and the Northwest, and helped build retaining walls and roads and all of those amazing, structural components around some of our national parks.
That's
and
cool.
So pretty cool. During the CCCs, that was what Dad was doing as a 16, 17, and 18-year-old boy. And then when World War II broke out, he, like many of the CCC boys, and I do say boys because they were fairly young, but joined the services. My dad originally joined the Air Force and went to war. So the greatest generation. My dad served in both the Air Force as well as the Army during the war, and he served during World War II, and he also was a reservist, and then later served in the Korean War as well. So he went off to war during World War II times, and was stationed at Fort Douglas, which is in Salt Lake City, Utah. Right. When he was at Fort Douglas, he went to a roller skating rink and met this beautiful young girl. She was, I think, 16 at the time, but met my mom at a roller skating rink when he was a serviceman, and then headed off to war. So after the war ended, my dad came back through the Golden Gate into San Francisco, disembarked in San Francisco, and rode a train from San Francisco all the way across the country to get back to Tennessee. I'm not sure exactly how long that train trip took, but I'm sure it was, a week or several days or a week, or it was a long trip. And the train took him to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and then he walked from there back up to Signal Mountain.
That's got to be a long walk.
Yeah, I think, from the city of Chattanooga up to where my family lived, probably maybe 15 miles or so. Okay. But that, he didn't have any car or transportation at the time, and walked up to the mountain. Again, my Grandma Brown, Grandma Blaylock Brown, she had a full house and lots of mouths to feed, and several of her boys were off at war. Several of my uncles also served. But my dad returned and spent a short time, I guess I'd have to get the exact number, but it was about a week or so back at the family home after World War II. And Grandma asked him, well, Bob, what are your plans? What are you thinking? And he said, hey, I met this girl out west in Salt Lake City when I was stationed out there. I think I'm going to head west and see what becomes of it.
True Brown style.
So that was his famous words. So in post World War II, right after the end of the World War, you could travel just about anywhere, as long as you had your uniform on, and people would give you a ride. So my dad put his uniform on, put pretty much all of his possessions in his duffel bag, and this was within a week or so after returning back from war. And he walked back off the mountain again, walked down into Chattanooga, and started hitchhiking his way west with $8 to his name. That's all he had, $8 in his pocket. And he was able to hitchhike all the way from Tennessee to Salt Lake City on the goodness of strangers, and made it to Utah. And the rest, as they say, is history. My mom and dad got married about 9 months after his return, and they were that is how the hillbillies of Signal Mountain, Tennessee, the Brown clan, migrated from Signal Mountain, Tennessee to Salt Lake City, Utah. So it's a great story. I love The Greatest Generation, and love the fact that my dad was a real pioneer about migrating west and finding this young girl, young woman who stole his heart. So it's a great story about how my parents met.
I love it. We need to go to Tennessee, Dad. I want to go.
Oh, it's awesome. I've been several times, and the clan is and the places that they lived are quite remarkable, to say the least. They were true hillbillies living on the mountain and out back in the woods. So
that's awesome. Well, thanks for the story, Dad. I can't wait to share it with everyone.
Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.
If you want to learn more about your family history, Family Search is a really great website to learn more. Someone on my mom's side just added this photo. That's really pretty. But yeah, it's a great resource, and you can learn all about your family on both sides. I really love hearing the stories of my family and learning more. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video blog for today, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas